I'm just saying I'm not finished yet. Search for it, swing for it, discover the me that lives in yes. Stand for it, stretch for it. It's my time, imagine my best. Run for it, reach for it, uncover the me that lives in yes. I know, yes I know, there'll be miracles wherever I go. It's not work, it's play. I can make magic today.
Hi everyone, welcome to Senior Nation. I'm your host, Phyllis Ayman, and you are listening to the Source TV Radio Network, WTSN Washington, D.C. We are indeed a senior nation with 100 plus million adults over the age of 50. And we are here to bring you up-to-date information about successful aging, healthful longevity, and becoming what I call a well-ager, to dignity, respect, quality of life, and quality of care for our parents, our grandparents, and loved ones. We at Senior Nation will be your trusted voice for informed choices, meaningful conversations, and a vibrant life at every age. Though the Source TV Radio Network is known for its dedication to bringing the highest level of jazz content to the viewing and listening audience, the owners of the network are also dedicated to bringing this important content to this fast-growing demographic, and I'm always grateful for the opportunity. And now for tonight's guest. I'm so happy that my friend Michealene Risley is able to join me tonight on Senior Nation. Michealene is a dynamic entrepreneur and advocate. She's the founder and CEO of Imbibe, a United States-based sleep company focused on one thing, helping people actually feel better when they wake up. Imbibe makes pillows that use a proprietary blend of copper, silver, and cooling technology to support alignment, ease pain, and make sleep more restorative and comfortable. Our day actually begins with a good night's sleep, and Michealene has found a way to help make that happen for each and every one of us. So I'm so thrilled to be here with my friend Michealene Risley.
Hi, Phyllis. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being able to join me. It's really terrific. We hadn't been in touch for a while, and but I had you on my mind. And I think we talked about it a while back, the importance of, letting people know how important sleep is to their lives, right? And to their well-being.
Absolutely. I think sleep is one of the top 3 most critical components of a healthy life.
Yeah. I mean, we said that right before, right? Sleep, what you put in your body, what you eat. And I would say, I don't know what you would say, but I would say your attitude or your outlook.
Ooh, that's interesting. All right. Maybe we need 4, because I think attitude is really critical. I think it makes a difference on how you live your life. But I also think exercise is important.
Well, that's true too.
So can we agree on 4?
Yeah, there's probably a 5th one in there someplace, which is probably, maybe there are a few more, purpose, connection.
Yes.
Those are all really critical components to having a not only a successful life, I'll call it a healthful life. I'm working on a longevity project, a book, and it goes into all of those. People don't realize the importance of how all of these work together. I mean, they really do. I mean, our body is a system. And if you think about, I wrote a poem many years ago about, I think it was called Our Body, Our Car, or Your Body, Your Car, because it's really like you can liken it to a closed system. And if one thing goes awry, it affects something else. If you have a pinhole in a hose, the car might overheat. If the starter isn't working, you can't start, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And you talk about, and just having known you for a while, and I think both of us have purpose-driven lives. But I think that is really important when you speak about the emotionality of being positive or negative, and having a purpose in life, feeling like you've left the world a little better.
Yeah, I agree. So, what led you to? It's an interesting story from your past as an entrepreneur, and you've had an advocate, and you've done some amazing things in your life. What led you to this pillow project?
Yeah, it's a crazy and a very long story because so this happened, let's see, 2006. I was, I went out to feed our chickens and I lifted up a bag of chicken feed. And I didn't really think it was that heavy, but apparently it was because the next morning I woke up, it was Father's Day and I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed. And so it was, so I ended up in emergency surgery and having spinal surgery where they did a double laminectomy with bone spurs. It was a long surgery. And what came out of that is one of my dear friends said, you know, Mike, now that the surgery's over, you really need to work on your core. It's the, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
most important part of keeping your body healthy. And so she connected to me to a guy by the name of Jeff, who was a trainer near my house. So I went to work with Jeff, who actually was an Olympic gymnast and who also had had spinal surgery. So we started talking about how neither one of us could find the right pillow. And
Hmm.
so we started to fantasize about, oh, if we did pillows, it would be this, it would be that.
Right.
And then pre-COVID, so years later, Jeff had already gone back to school. He became a very successful chiropractor, acupuncturist. Now, Dr. Rudy, who has two clinics in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and he does the majority of sports leagues, NFL, NBA, MLB. He does a lot of athletes around the country. And he's very well respected and trusted because he came at this from a trainer and a masseuse before he went
Ah,
to school. So he more than most knows a great deal about the body. So he will fly out to an NFL player in, you know, Dallas Cowboys or wherever just to spend a day with them so that he can get them fixed.
mm-hmm.
So right before COVID, we started talking again and we said, geez, no one's done the pillows we want to do. Why don't we start doing this? So that was when we started looking at how we could create a line of pillows. So part of, I want to back up a bit in terms of who we are, because Imbibe, the name of our company, is literally based on the fact that human beings do not get blood flow and nutrients to the spine unless they're in the right supine position.
Really?
Yes. So that in medical terms is called imbibition.
Ah, I never knew how the name came about. I never asked you, so this is fascinating to me.
So yes. And so when you are in the right position when you're sleeping, it's when you get blood flow and nutrients to the spine. And it's part of why, as a species, we have such spine issues because we don't sleep properly.
Right.
So the good thing is once we started creating pillows, the prototypes were tested amongst Jeff's patients. So it's really, really great. So then that is how we started. And we launched in January of this year.
Just in 2025, because we've been talking about this for a while.
Yes, we officially launched in January. We showed the pillows at the Grammy Lounge and we had, oh my God, so many celebrities who loved the pillow and, you know, took them home, and we have great pictures and videos. And, you know, we've sort of been climbing since. We only introduced one pillow this year, which is the Pearl, thick and thin. And come January, we'll be launching another 3.
So,
Another 2, so we'll have 4 total.
right. So can you talk a little bit without going into the formula about the proprietary blend and how
Yes.
this
Yes.
impacts sleep?
Well, you know, and think about this. How do you sleep? Do you sleep on your side, your back? What kind of sleeper are you?
Well, I think I generally sleep on my side, and I think I generally do that. I mean, I'm just recovering from hip surgery, so for the last few weeks, I can only really sleep on my back.
Right.
And then I was aware, I think, how much of a side sleeper I am because I couldn't move to my side. So I
Oh,
probably
interesting.
am mostly a side sleeper.
Well, so think about it like this. There's what, 8.5 billion people on the planet,
Right.
all different shapes and sizes. Why on earth do we all have the same pillow, the same shape? Well, why? And we all sleep. I mean, so what we set out to do is to create a line of pillows for every sleep position and a way that we would get you into imbibation.
Wow, that's cool. I never knew that.
And
I mean, and
each,
we've talked about this pillow,
I
you
know
know,
for a long time, I know.
I tried to get some investors for the pillow. So I didn't actually really know that. That's really fascinating. And, before we go into more about, and I know the pillow is also an anti-mold pillow, right? Because I remember
Yes.
that you were able to do some work with people who are on yachts or boats or
Yes.
right
Well,
near
let me talk
water.
about the formula a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on the market at all like what we have in terms of the proprietary blend of copper, silver, and coolant gel. We're actually now starting to put graphite in as well. And so all of this combination is antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-mold. And what's amazing is we've taken a heat-seeking camera onto the pillow to measure how much your body temperature changes from the coolant, and it can reduce your body temperature by 7 degrees.
Wow.
So when you think about it, and not women sleep hot, especially during menopause, but a lot of men sleep hot too, right?
Right,
And
right.
so you have to think about it in terms of what's most critical about sleep is your first hour. That's the way you get down into deeper sleep and get
Correct.
into REM. Well, almost all pillows that have been tested out there, if they have a coolant gel, maybe 7 to 15 minutes is long is will all it it's all it will last. Ours lasts for the first full hour.
Oh, wow.
And so it really, our studies and our research have shown that it really gets you into deep sleep.
Which is where most of the restorative healing in your body happens. I don't, my thinking is most people aren't aware how lack of sleep or insufficient sleep or disruptive sleep contributes to health conditions. It actually contributes to high blood pressure. It
Yes.
actually contributes to weight gain. There are a lot of conditions. Actually, there's now work that says that disruptive and incomplete sleep affects cognition, and that's not
Really?
just irritability and obviously we know that
I
irritability and low
think
frustration
there's
tolerance when you're tired if you haven't had sufficient sleep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
No,
there.
that's okay.
I think there's some research I saw which said 3 nights of poor sleep is the equivalent of 3 drinks of alcohol.
Yeah, something like that. Uh-huh.
And so cognitively, it just affects you dramatically. And I'll give you an example, and we can talk more about the pillows. But we get a lot of requests from people who haven't slept in years. Like, oh my God, there was a paraplegic in Maine who was having a hard time, and he said he'd bought so many pillows and he couldn't sleep and he was really struggling. So we sent him an early prototype of the Aruna pillow, which is a side back sleeping pillow.
Mm-hmm.
He said he put a review online. I mean, you can't buy the pillow yet, but he was so excited. He said, not only did I sleep, but it's the first time I've slept well in about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And we had a doctor in Sacramento who, we don't do this a lot. So I don't want anyone to say, please send me an Aruna pillow. It's a prototype. But we had a doctor in Sacramento who was a swimmer. And he said, I really am struggling with my sleep. And I don't think he used the Aura ring, but he had something that measured his sleep and his oxygen saturation. And so we said, okay, we'll send you a prototype. And he sent a note as well and said, my oxygen levels went up to 95% a night.
Wow.
And
That's
so,
incredible.
yes. And so what we've seen with different pillows is different unintended consequences. So for example, the Jilly, which is our back sleeping pillow, facial lines, affected snoring. And we never really thought about those things as we were creating. We just wanted people to have good sleep.
So let me ask you, I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Although this is is obviously a physical or physiologic condition. So I don't know if you can equate the two, but does it have any effect, a positive effect on, let's say, people who have sleep apnea or?
So we think it will, and we have tried it on a number of people who said it have. But what we want to do is once we get all of the pillows out, then we'll do literally a white paper, like
Right,
Dr.
right, or a
Rudy
sleep
would
study of
do
some
something,
sort.
because
Yeah,
we want to make sure. But it's interesting because I've had a lot of friends, I send them a pillow and say, please, can you test this for me? And they'd call me up and go, Mike, it stopped my snoring, or Mike, and we started to realize that there could be some really other good benefits from this.
right. That's why I asked that question. Although you wouldn't think how one thing would have to do with another necessarily, because one is a physical or physiological, medical condition. But I don't know. I'm thinking, sleep and disruptive sleep and why people stop breathing during sleep. And, maybe there's something about the comfortability or the blend that enhances sleep in a way that um, doesn't, so it doesn't become disruptive in that way, that
Well, I think
the
you're right.
breathing patterns don't become disruptive, I should
Yeah,
say.
no, it's a brilliant question, because I think not only is it an important question, but what we've discovered, and depending on the shape of the pillow. So, for example, and if you had Dr. Rudy on here, he'd be able to tell you from a medical terminology, but I can't. But I can tell you that even like if you look at the Jilly pillow that we're going to release next year, it's set up in a way where it brings your neck back in a way where it opens your airways, and it actually does a pull on your spine. So there are ways that these are affecting people in a positive way. That's what we're so excited about.
Wow, I'm just thinking if you do any kind of study on it,
Yes.
that I don't know, if there would be a way to connect with this, the Sleep Apnea Foundation. I'm sure there's a foundation. There's a foundation for everything. I wonder if they would be interested in doing some kind of study with the pillow.
Oh, what a great idea. Oh my God, what a great idea. I think once we start, I mean, we have been growing every month since we launched. We're bootstrapped. We didn't want to raise any funds until we found the right party to do it.
Right.
So, and our partner on this since we launched was Leggett and Platt, which is the largest bedding manufacturer in the world. But for me, having done a number of startups, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have supply chain issues.
Right.
But what we found is, so now we're moving to a place outside of Phoenix with 3Z Designs, which is a very high-end bedding manufacturer that makes everything in the U.S. So they're very aligned to us in terms of everything we do is in the U.S., and we want to make sure that it's of high quality. We create jobs here, and we can proudly say that it's made in our own country.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So, aside from that, from the success that you've launched it, is it commercially available as yet or not, or how would people, because I don't know if people can contact you to get a pillow. I mean, I know you have a website, but what about a commercial launch? I mean, is that
I mean, like a brick and mortar
yeah,
launch,
yeah,
international launch?
right, or like a Bed Bath and Beyond? Well, they don't really, well, they
Yeah.
still have an online store, but I'm just thinking of you know and the price point would probably impact where it would be sold, I would assume.
Yes. We are on Amazon and Walmart online. Um, I think for us, so I know this is going to sound, I don't know what it's going to sound like, but we really care about the customer. Every purchase that is made, I sent them a personal note and thank them. We check on them to see if it's working or if it's not. I mean, we've sent out at our own cost prototypes to people just so
Right.
that they can sleep. And it's really really important to us. So for us, like, it's nice to have sales on Amazon, but you cannot communicate with the customer.
Correct.
And
Right.
so for me, 3Z Designs has a number of high-end mattress companies, and we would love to talk to them long-term about a relationship with us, but we're not there yet. I think what we want to do, so we've launched the Pearl this year, which is the thick and the thin. And then probably in January, we will launch we have a children's pillow, and we also have the Aruna, which will come out in January. And the children's pillow is also a travel pillow, so you can do both. But between the Pearl Thick and Thin and the Aruna and the travel, we'll have 4 SKUs out there. And then we'll move into probably the Jilly next. But so I think once we start to get all products out there, then we'll start talking in terms of a national relationship.
Right. So how do you go about coming up with different designs, or, what is the, not focus is not the right word. What is the guiding force or the guiding principle behind you looking at a new style pillow?
Well,
I don't know if that's the right question.
No. I understand. No, it's a good question. And I think it's partly going back to the different ways people sleep. And so how do we develop a pillow for a side sleeper or a back sleeper?
What about a stomach sleeper?
Yeah, so a lot of people who are stomach sleepers will use the Pearl, which is a pretty traditional shaped pillow.
Uh-huh.
But we like to encourage people not to stomach sleep because it's not healthy for you.
Okay.
But people are going to stop. My mother-in-law sleeps on her stomach. I'm not going to stop her. She's in her 80s,
And it's worked for her because she's in her 80s.
Yes.
So Shop Black Enterprise says the mineral most strongly linked to better sleep quality is magnesium. It plays a key role in numerous bodily functions related to rest and relaxation. What do you think?
I love that.
Me
love
too.
That. Oh my God. You know what? You're giving me all these ideas. I think I need to give you a royalty rate or something.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was actually just thinking that. Actually, we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we can talk offline. Well, especially now that we're moving into graphite, and the combination of what we have, again, I think I mentioned, doesn't exist in the marketplace. And the multiple of what we've done with these is so much more. Like when we went to Leggett and Platt and said, okay, we want to put this much copper in and this much silver in. And they'd say, well, why are you putting that much in? And it's because we want it to really make a difference. So the pillow market, part of the challenge of the pillow market is that you have a lot of big players in there who say a lot of things and the product does not deliver.
Right.
And so as we came into the marketplace, that was one of our biggest issues is consumers are cynical. They're tired. They've got, I can't tell you how many people email me or call or text and say, I've got 22 pillows. None of them have worked.
Right.
And so I think that for us, it's really important to make it work. And one of the things that we've done along the way is every pillow is named after someone we loved and lost.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so for us, this is really important to us,
So so I'm just thinking in determining, let's say, or looking for the next design.
Yes.
So do you have any way, do you just intellectually say, oh, some people are, side sleepers, some people are back sleepers, some people have this, or do you have any kind of study that you do, or is there any kind of, what's the word? I don't mean a survey, but any kind of outreach that you do to determine, the greatest number of sleep positions that will guide your next pillow design?
Well, a couple things. I think that we have used Dr. Rudy's clinics to test the pillows to see, and we've improved them tremendously off of what patients have said. So that's one element of it. And I think with Jeff's medical background, I think he integrates that into what we're designing, which is really critical to what we come up with. We have a list. I think last checked it was 5 pages long of products that we want to create. If we are going to pick, I think we talked about creating a line of ergonomic, and I mean that in a good way, with automobile seats. I mean, truly. And one of the other ones we want to do up front is wheelchairs.
That would be great. Well, that would be right up my alley, right?
Yes.
The other thing I'm thinking is, since I'm just recovering from hip surgery, today is 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
I know, proud to say I'm doing great. And
Yeah.
as I'm thinking, especially when you said seats,
Yeah.
but I'm also thinking about, I was told really not to sleep on the non-operated side. It would be preferable not to sleep on my non-operated side. But if I did, I should have a pillow between my legs. And I understood why. So the pillows I have are pretty heavy pillows. They're pretty bulky pillows, I'll say. And it was a real challenge getting it between my legs. So, and I think there are probably other conditions where people need to have a pillow between their legs for a variety of reasons.
Right.
Do you have a pillow that would?
Yes.
I think I'm giving you too many ideas.
No, don't worry. It's already in the works. So the travel pillow would be great, but also a lot of people use the pearl thin between their legs.
But it can't be too thin, because the reason I'm saying that is based on my recent experience, right?
Yes.
When I put a pillow between my knees that was too thin, okay, there was still a lot of pressure on my hip. It didn't provide enough space, I guess, between my legs because the pillow was too thin or flat.
Yes, I get it. No, so absolutely. And even without surgery, people I think it's important to have a pillow depending on what position you sleep in between your legs. So yes, that is probably what we did. Is we had another pillow because Dr. Rudy had worked with so many large athletes, and so many of them had such big shoulders that we actually had a pillow called the big boy pillow. And it has this amazing shoulder holder because a lot of people don't know what to do with their arms when they're sleeping.
That's true.
So we've kind of combined a little bit of that with the Aruna. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next pillow after the Jilly isn't the pillow between your legs.
So what about pillows for, just because you said that, like there are athletes that are very large. What about pillows for people of different sizes or different ages? When a person maybe, is older and becomes, if they do become more frail, or somebody who's thinner as opposed to, heavier. What about those scenarios?
I think that, and it's a good question, I think that's more in size. So for example, on the Pearl, what's been really fascinating is that the Pearl thick and thin are the same price. And a lot of people tend to say, oh, well, I want the thick, it's going to be more plush. But what you really want to make sure is when you are sleeping, that whether you're sleeping back, I'm trying to show you visually, is that you want to be flat. And so a lot of people order the thin and we'd exchange it because it's not necessarily how thick and plush a pillow is. It's to make sure that you're in the right ergonomic position.
Alignment, that your spine is in the right alignment. So, I know we had spoken to somebody a couple of years ago about investing in the company.
Yes.
And this person said, but you're providing all the information as to why you would need this pillow as opposed to going to Costco and buying a pillow for $20, or wherever you go to buy a pillow, Walmart, Target, wherever you go, right? Amazon, because this is specific for you. Actually, it's actually specific for you, for your condition, for your position, for your sleep positioning. there's so much that goes into it. And like we said, the importance of sleep, it really, your day begins really with the night's sleep you had the night before.
Yes.
Why this is really important. And people don't think about investing in a pillow that way. They say, oh, I'll just go buy a pillow for $20.
Oh, so true. And then after they have 10 pillows and nothing's working,
Right.
I think that's been an issue for people with our pillow because our price point is $199.
Right.
And so people say, gosh, that's a lot for a pillow. Well, a few things. We're making the pillow in the US. We could probably make that pillow in Asia for a third of that price, but that's not what we want to do.
Correct.
And plus, we want to make sure the ingredients in our pillow are actually true ingredients, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, it's been really interesting because there is this, as I mentioned, there's this cynicism about pillows and what companies say.
Right.
I won't use companies' names because I don't want to get in trouble for that. But there are a lot of companies out there who will have really poor product, but they'll put in $5 million in a marketing campaign because they're going to sell enough pillows where people won't return them, or they have lousy return policies. I probably can't go into those details, but I can tell you, I've tried every single pillow out there, and a lot of them make claims that are just not true.
Right.
And not only do I stand behind what we're doing and we thank everyone personally, but we have a 120-day return policy, no questions asked.
Wow.
And it's because we want you to love your pillow. We want you to have sleep where you can let us know that you've got an oxygen saturation level of 95% and you are sleeping like you've never slept.
Right. And I think that, if people had a sense of what a wonderful night's sleep they would get, which in turn would lead to how much better they felt the next day.
Yes.
They might look forward to sleeping, whereas a lot of people do not. They want to avoid sleeping. They want that the whole idea of going to bed. That's why a ritual or a routine is helpful for a lot of people. Start to wind down, start to turn off your social media, your television, variety of things, right?
Yes.
I think that if people knew what a wonderful night's sleep they would get, they would be more inclined to want to do that.
Yes. Because think about it this way. It's an investment in you.
Correct.
And again, if we look at the top most critical parts of being a healthy human being, sleep it's a third of your life.
So this
What?
So Shop Like Enterprise says, you mean my pillow is a scam? LOL. No comment.
I am pleading the fifth, but I will tell you that after I bought said pillow, I used it to stuff my couch.
I have no comment about that. I'm not making any statement.
None.
Oh, that's so funny. But that's like any commercial product. Listen, anybody can, invest. Listen, for years, didn't we? And I don't see those commercials so much anymore. Come to think of it, Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and all these drinks that are really horrible for you. I mean, it takes it takes paint off a car. I mean, some of them, right?
It does. You can put a penny in a Coca-Cola and it'll take off. Yeah.
And so, my thing is, I ask people, would you put antifreeze in your engine? They would say, no, that would be ridiculous. Yes. And would you put gas in your radiator? Right. Or would you put water in your gas tank? Well, those seem like ridiculous questions. Well, then why would you put some of these very toxic chemicals in your body?
Absolutely.
But people don't think of it that way.
They really don't. I mean, and we try, like, even on the cover, we have a antibacterial on the cover, which is primarily all non-toxic ingredients. We passed every test. We've done everything to make sure that, I mean, I want you to come back and say, I love my pillow. We have had a number of repeat customers already, which has been great for us. Um, so I know something's working, but I honestly think can you see me okay? It feels like
Yeah,
it's getting dark here. Okay.
yeah, it's
Um,
okay.
I honestly feel the Aruna, I think there's so many side back sleepers that it's going to help. And just based on the prototypes we sent out, the response has been great.
Yeah, well, that's terrific. And what about, oh, I think I did ask you this about a pillow. You did say you're going to develop a pillow for children, I think. Did you not
So
say that?
that should be out in the beginning of the year. And think about this. Kids are like a third of our size.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right. So, right.
like
So,
why would we not have a pillow? Because it's not just good sleep, it's the sleep pattern of your life.
right,
And
right,
so, I mean, part of like, we have so many unique pillows that we're launching. And some of my friends would say, well, why are you launching with the least, like the traditional shape? And I think when you're teaching people how to learn to sleep better, it's that friction you need to worry about. Like, what's the easiest way to get them there? It's kind of like Invisalign or orthotics. You have to
right.
teach people that this is for better sleep. This is for your children so that they can support their body alignment early on in their life so they don't end up with spine issues.
Right. So, I'm thinking, I mean, that's why I wanted to have you on, Senior Nation, because I think people really need to be much better educated about sleep, the importance
Absolutely.
of sleep, the value that it represents to their well-being, the consequences of poor sleep. People have no idea. Just like hydration. Oh, we didn't say how the importance of hydration.
Oh, you're right. We didn't.
Right.
You're
That's
right. Blood pressure, diet, all of these
right.
things relate to your sleep.
Right. People have no idea.
Weight gain. I
Wait.
mean,
Yeah. You know,
inflammation. If you're not sleeping, your body is not healing.
correct, because as we know, that's when, your body restores, right? Is when it's sleeping. That's when cells regenerate. That's when all of that happens. And I think people just think, "Oh, I have to go to sleep now." You know what I mean? It's just like something they do. It's
You're so right. It's like, think about it this way. It's like if you knew you had one thing to do every day that could keep you incredibly happy, healthy, and vital till 100, would you treat it that way?
yeah, that's a great question. No, obviously. Right.
I will tell you that who listens to us and knows how important sleep is athletes. We have
I could see that.
NFL player Carl Lawson, who loves our pillows and has helped us for a while. Rachel Dinkoff is a U.S. Olympic athlete, and they talk about how they even have a pillow for their dog. They use one of our pillows for their dog.
Well, okay, that's another story, but listen, the dog has to have, your pet has to sleep well. I mean, let's be real, but
It's,
okay, whatever.
it's on our list, and I will tell you, it's the number one request from people besides pillows for themselves. Do you have a dog bed?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's really hysterical.
People love their pets too. They want them to sleep,
Yeah, no, absolutely. People definitely have a love relationship with their pets. That's for sure. But I just, I'm just thinking about this, as we're talking about people just like, I have to go to sleep now, or I'm tired, I have to go to sleep, but they don't really think of it, approach it therapeutically.
Very much. You're right.
Right. They don't think of it as therapeutic for their well-being. And I wonder if there's a way, to have some kind of national campaign, or I'd love to work on that actually.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
On the sleep as a, what did I don't even remember what I just said. Therapeutic sleep,
Yeah.
as the therapy. Sleep is actually therapeutic, and
Absolutely.
people don't think of it that way. And aren't you willing to do something for your well-being that's so simple as getting a great night's sleep?
And you know how you had talked earlier about attitude?
Uh-huh.
it's also an attitude about sleep. So, okay, so last night, I think I slept 9.5 hours, which is really good. But I also prepared for it. So I put my heart PJs on. Sorry, hold on.
That's okay.
I put my heart PJs on, and I had these cute little PJs on, and I had my little night slippers on. So I feel like you can create rituals that make you really excited about the process.
Right. Instead of, oh, I just have to go to sleep. Well, that's why, people, I always encourage people, and there have been many things out there about developing a sleep routine, developing a habit, start an hour before. Like I said, turn off your social media, turn off, turn off, anything,
TV or yeah.
TV, anything that's jarring, or, try and relax, have something that's calming, don't drink right before you go to sleep, because then obviously that leads to having to disrupt your sleep to get up and go to the bathroom, time when your last drinking is, time when your last eating is.
Well, the other thing too, where you brought up magnesium earlier. Now,
Right.
there's lots of ways you can take magnesium that will help calm your body and sleep. But there's a lot of people who take sleeping aids, and and there's some natural ways to do this with like magnesium, like a calm. If you ever had
Right.
calm, and you just put it in water and you can feel your body relax. So there's lots of ways to do that can
There,
help you.
there's also, it is getting kind of dark. Do you have a light that you
Yeah.
can?
Do you mind?
No.
Keep talking. Keep
Yeah.
talking. Why I'm gonna
Yeah.
limp over to the light.
There's also lavender that you can.
Yes.
Lavender is calming and helps you with sleep, and chamomile. I mean, there are a variety of things you can do for, to relax before sleep and to help you, be in a more calm state, so that you'll sleep more easily, more comfortably.
Lots
Oh,
of
that's a lot better.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. Lots of different teas,
Right, exactly. And there's aromatherapy. There are all
Yes.
kinds of things you could do.
Yes.
To,
But when we're talking about this idea of, like, how you get excited for an event, or you get excited about going out with friends, and get excited about getting ready for sleep.
Right.
There's something about, brushing your teeth and getting your PJs on, and,
Right.
it's kind of like, it's a lot easier for us to think about this as it relates to our children or our spouses.
Right.
But it's time to do it for ourselves.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that goes into the whole idea of being especially for women, I think more so than men. I hate to stereotype it that way, but it's true, being a caregiver, taking care of others.
No, yeah, you're right.
People think taking care of themselves is selfish. It's not. It's actually, as gazillion people have said, you can't pour from an empty cup. I mean, your car can't run without gas. So how are you going to care for everyone else? I know from, my daughter, she's 45, and, she has 3 girls, and the oldest will be 12 soon. And the twins will be 10 in June. And she's exhausted all the time. Now,
Yes.
I'm not saying she still wouldn't be exhausted, but my hunch is she needs to have a better night's sleep.
Very much so. And think about this in terms of, like, you've spent a lot of time in retirement communities in terms
Right.
of, think about the pillows on those beds.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And usually they have plastic on the outside. I mean, think about this. I mean, it's mind-boggling how little we take care of people in those facilities with the right pillows, with the right sleep.
Well, and I can tell you though,
Yeah.
They're not spending $199 a pillow.
We got them a deal, trust me. But think about how this would affect their medication.
I agree. Their behavioral interactions, their willingness to participate, to not be so frustrated, or their responses, or I mean, there's so many things that it would, but they don't see it. They don't see it.
And and I know there's a link here. We're just not there yet, but there's a program in Reno that I'm looking into, which basically it's a program that opens the neural pathways in your brain for better sleep. And what they've discovered with this is that children with autism that go through this program become different human beings.
Wow.
And so I want to look at, when we go through life, there are things that close off neural pathways.
Right.
So it would be really interesting to see if we could open those neural pathways and connect that to good sleep in a way that would really produce different.
Yeah. So I'm, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about, other situations. I know they're neurologic, whether it's, somebody with Parkinson's or somebody, who's had a stroke or somebody with dementia. I'm just thinking, I wonder, the impact that different pillows would have on people who are experiencing or living with those conditions.
Absolutely. And think about this. You've just gone through hip surgery, right?
Yep.
And you're doing great at 2 weeks. And that is, your body is an incredible machine.
Right.
And
Right.
so if we allow our body to be that with enough sleep, I think sky's the limits.
No, I definitely agree. And actually, the first couple of days, well, that would make sense that you might not sleep that well. They actually told me I might not sleep well for a very long time, and that hasn't been the case. But
All the drugs in your system, like
well, I'm not taking anything.
no, I mean from the surgery.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's true too. There wasn't that much actually, I don't think, and I didn't really take much afterwards. I took Tylenol. I mean, that was like it. Everything else they prescribed, I said no, that would not be me.
You're right.
And see ya. I called them the next day, said I'm not taking any of those things. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, but I remember the anesthesia was something that kept me up for a few days.
Well, so were you? Did you have general anesthesia? I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did
Wow,
not.
good for you.
I did not have general. They give you some kind of cocktail of a few things through an IV, and that's it. There's no general anesthesia with this type of surgery. Rita says, yes, a pillow is important, but people have no idea about what a good mattress is. Another good point.
Rita, you know what? Thank you for bringing this up.
Right.
There's such a link between your pillow and your mattress.
Right.
And I'll give you a perfect example. And our mattress in Michigan, my Aruna, I loved. And when I came back here, got an Aruna here in Tucson, it was too hard. And it was the same pillow. And so your mattress is key to the comfort of your pillow. If your mattress is hard, medium, or soft, it affects how far you sink with your pillow.
Right.
It affects so many things. So Rita, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What about doing an assessment, I'll call it,
Yes.
of people's mattresses when they get these pillows? I mean, I could see this as being a whole body, a sleep assessment that has to do with the mattress, the pillow, and the interaction of your body.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you the dream I had, which I've given up because, we're a bootstrap startup. But one of the things I talked about in the beginning is, do you remember Build-A-Bear workshops?
Yeah.
So I wanted you to be able to go in and have a series of mattresses, soft, medium, hard, and you could actually go in and build your pillow.
Oh, wow.
And the reason being is you could actually have the patient sit there and you can, that's what's so great about Dr. Rudy and his work is he has them on a table. He sees what happens. But I think there's such a relationship between the pillow and the mattress. The challenge also is most national chains don't get it.
I would think not. Well, they're not interested in that. I'm sorry to say, but that's not what their point of view is. Let's just say that. Right?
Yes, absolutely. And I will tell you that, I've gone to a lot of mattress companies now, and they don't not only do they not acknowledge the link, but they don't care. So a lot of times I'll go somewhere, they want to sell you a mattress because it's a higher price point
Right.
product, and they just throw the pillows at you. And,
Right.
most of them are not very good.
I agree. So Carla says most people think a soft mattress is the right mattress and it is the worst for spinal alignment. Correct.
Correct. Yes, Carla. And it's not, it really depends on your body type and your weight and your shoulders. But when I'm on a soft mattress, my spine hurts.
Right. I haven't been on a soft mattress in years, but I remember, I can't tell you what year it was that I went from a kind of a moderate soft mattress to a hard mattress. And I remember at first thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. But in actuality, your mat, you shouldn't be sinking into your mattress. The mattress should be supporting your body.
Yes. But you can also get a mattress too hard for your body, depending, right?
Right.
You know, it would be really interesting. I don't know if you could do this, Phyllis, but I would love to see if we can get Dr. Rudy on and do a Q&A with people in terms of what their pillow is, what their mattress is. Because it's,
sure. I
love when we'll get customers to say, I've got sleep apnea, I've got this, and Jeff will get on the phone with them or he'll email them and say, what about this and this? So it'd be kind of interesting to see.
Well, maybe we could do that after the beginning of the year, because I know we're coming to the end here.
Yes.
Because the reality is that next week is, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Next week is Christmas Eve, so I'm having a replay. And then the week after is New Year's Eve, so I'm having a replay. But maybe we could talk about that as a continuation of this conversation, because absolutely. I think that would be really super. And come to think of it, it would be a great way to begin the new year. Think about your sleep, how you're sleeping, moving forward. How is that going to affect your outlook for the new year, your plans for the new year?
Oh, I love that. You know what? I love that. And yes, I love that idea, because it is, you can tell I'm passionate about it. Right. It's like sleep is a cornerstone of good health.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. As we said, most people, don't think of it that way. They don't think of it as therapeutic. They don't think of it as healing. They don't think of it as that's really where their day begins, with the sleep they have the night before. Yes. They don't think about any of that, because, if you just think about it, if you don't have a good night's sleep, you wake up fatigued, you wake up groggy, you might have less, patience, irritability. And then you go through your day like that. You go to work like that. You respond to the people in your family like that, and it affects relationships. People have no idea the impact that this really has on not only themselves, their well-being, but on their lives, on the people around them, on the people they work with.
It's so funny as I go back to what we were talking about earlier, because when you think about it, okay, so if you're going for a job interview, you're going to make sure you dress and you eat healthy, make sure you're doing all those things before you go in so you can be at your best.
Right.
All of it starts the night before.
Right. So Tara says, I had a down pillow that was over 5 years old, and I didn't realize how badly it needed replacement. I just bought a contoured memory foam pillow, and I am sleeping 100% better. Great.
That's great, Tara. But she brings up a really important thing. We really, really neglect our pillows. We really neglect that. Oh my God, I've had this pillow for 25 years. Should I have another one? And what's it made out of? Because a lot of pillows, many pillows, depending on what's inside of them, don't last a year.
But so it's interesting, two things you said. I think you're supposed to replace your mattress every 5 or 7 years. I don't remember the exact, or is it 10 years?
I think it's 10 years.
10 years. So
what you can do with a mattress is you can flip it and over, so you can get another 10 years on a different position.
Okay, that's true. I haven't done that.
But more than that, done.
But I had pillows. Talk about replacing pillows. I had pillows. I said, oh my God, I can't sleep. I need to get new pillows. I never got around to it. And then I was having somebody come for a few days last year. And I said, oh my God, this is a perfect opportunity. And I was so glad I did. But, did I buy a commercial pillow? Yes, actually, I should have called you.
You should have called me. I would have given you a good discount, Phyllis.
Well, I wasn't even thinking of it, but yeah, that would have been the smart thing to do, right?
Yes. But there's still time.
Right? There is still time. I mean, I think I should get a prototype, because if I'm going to have, we're going to have a Q&A and promote the pillow. I think I should. I think I would want to talk about how really great the pillow is. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just joking, but
no, I get it. Trust me. But I think too, you're a side back sleeper, so you're gonna want the Aruna.
Oh, am I? Okay, yeah. All right. I just think it's so interesting that there are different pillows for different sleep positions. I think it's unbelievable.
Yes, if you look at the history of pillows too, it's absolutely fascinating, because when the origination of pillows, and it was centuries ago, but it was the wealthy did it. It was something that the wealthy did to take care of their bodies.
Oh, wow. Really?
Interesting. Yes. And so, you know what? We should all feel wealthy enough to take care of ourselves.
I agree 150%. Well, listen, this has been so fantastic. And I really want to explore that for the first week. I think that would be a great continuation and a great way for people to think about beginning the new year with their sleep patterns. And
I think it's a great idea. And I'm sure Dr. Rudy would love to do it with us.
Okay. Super duper. So, we'll be in touch and we'll figure that out.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Phyllis.
Wait, we have one more comment here, which is Paul, who said, pillows generally last 1 to 3 years, depending on the fill material. The average age of a pillow, most people keep for 5 to 7 years, twice as lifespan. I agree, because I'm telling you, I don't know even how long I had that other pillow. And I was like, this is ridiculous. This is.
Well, not only are you right, but I think a lot of people keep them way past that 5 to 7 years you're talking about.
I agree. And think of all the bacteria that's in it. Also, people don't wash it. Oh, forget it. We could get into a whole thing about this.
And that is really important. That's why we have antimicrobial, antibacterial. Right. Nothing can grow on our pillows.
Right.
Inside of them. So it's important.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. We'll talk soon, because we have to prepare for January. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye.
Thanks so much. So as next week is Christmas Eve, I'm pleased to be running a replay of, next week is Jill Shepard's conversation on Senior Nation. The week after is the gentleman we just saw, right? Who was one of the Walt Williams, who was one of the original founders of the OJs. But next week will be Jill Shepard, and her conversation is centered around her company, Ordered by Design, a professional organizing business, which she's developed in the third act of life. Jill's talent is in helping people downsize, organize, and let go as they move through life stages. And my hunch is this will be especially apropos after we all accumulate so much during the holiday season. So wishing all of my viewers and listeners an especially bright holiday season. And like I said, after Jill Shepard, we'll have a replay of Walt Williams on New Year's, one of the original founders of the old OJs. And that was really a great conversation I had. So I'm thrilled that we'll be able to run that one again. So remember to tune in and come prepared to listen and enjoy on December 24th, and then again on December 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Source TV Radio Network. And until then, take care, stay well, and stay tuned.
Go for it, go for it. I'm just saying I'm not finished yet. Search for it, swing for it. Discover the me that lives in yes. Stand for it, stretch for it. It's my time, imagine my best. Run for it, reach for it. Uncover the me that lives in yes. I know Yes, I know there'll be miracles wherever I go. It's not work, it's play. I can make magic today.